Okay, first of all, we need to have a strong opening where we kind of summarize what we want to say for this. So, poem, Neutral Tones by Hardy. Always referred to the poet by his surname or her surname. Explores, I won't just say explores, I won't just repeat that, I'll try and develop it a tiny bit. Explores the end of an affair through the through the eyes. There'll be lots of places where I scribble out words and improve them. Through the eyes, or it could be the voice, doesn't really matter. Through the voice of explores the end of an affair through the voice of one of the lovers. And now I'm going to go into tone. I don't need to say the word tone. I can just go straight into it, I think. The poem, and I'm using my notes that I made in the previous video, starts calmly, describing the scene, I'm going to immediately sort of show that I understand the writer is creating effects here. So I could say here, the writer uses a wintry or a winter's pond to represent. I think using the word represent shows that you can see the hidden meanings in this. So the poem starts calmly describing the scene. The writer uses a winter's pond to represent the coldness of their feelings. I'll put winter in inverted commas because it's a quote coming from Winter Day. Winter symbolises. Now, symbolises and represents are great words because they're the hidden meanings. Symbolises the end. I mean, winter is often used to describe the end of something, the end of the year, the end of their love. Now, I want to get back to the tone. It seems calm, starts calmly. However, do you see too that I've got a quote just embedded in there, just a single word, which is great. You don't want long quotes here. However, increasingly, the tone becomes more, well, bitter is also a quote, isn't it? But it's called bitterness. So I'm just going to think of another word. So let's use cynical. Cynical. Almost, is it angry? Is angry too hard for that? I'll put bitter in because it's a great word. Almost bitter towards the end. Where, well, I want to get a quote in for this one. Do I do grin of bitterness? Do I do the smile on her face was dead? Quite like that. There's a lot of anger in there, isn't there? Almost bitter towards the end, where he describes her smile as the deadest thing. Do you notice there too that you can take bits of the quote, small bits, and use that as your connector, because that's not the whole quote. The whole quote is slightly longer, but I'm taking the bits out. It's embedding the quote at a deadest thing. You've got 30 minutes to write this, so you don't want to do lots of extra explanation at this point because you're embedding your explanation in that too. The examiner will know you understand that tone, and I'm going to move swiftly on to the next thing. So I want to now talk about who's speaking, how's that person speaking. I'm going to finish in a minute too and let you just carry on. So the speaker is it the poet? Is it invented? Is it a man? Is it a woman? What evidence do we have there? Let's just put down here, is one of the lovers. Is written in the first person. If you only hear one person speaking, you have this sense that you only get their side. I think that is worth putting in. So let's put down here, it is a one-sided view of this conversation. ... We never hear their words. I'm going to put down he is an unreliable narrator. We don't know what she thought, what her take on it. It seems to be some kind of anger towards her, or is it just towards love? Let's put it down, he compares a grin to bitterness. Now later on we can talk about oxymoron, or we can refer to it here. This oxymoron is where you put two opposites together, like love is bittersweet. It's often used to show the negative and the plus signs of love. This oxymoron highlights how disillusioned he is with this affair. What else haven't I said? You only got 30 minutes to write, and maybe at this point you'd want to go on to techniques. And when you use techniques, you really want to make it clear that the writer is at the forefront of all this change. So try and do a sentence like, the writer uses, then blank, whatever technique it is, to blank, to create whatever effect. So the first one we could use is colour, to suggest. Well, when people are in love, quite often colour is used to show how fantastic it is, like reds and oranges and blues. If there was a rainbow effect, it would show one thing, but here you can see they're bleached, kind of bitter, acrid colours, aren't they? Ashen, grey, white. The sun is described as white. Normally it would be yellow. So what does that all suggest? To suggest the death of their, what is it? Their love. I don't want to say love too many times. I'm thinking of other ways to say it. So the writer uses colour to suggest the death of their love. And it reinforces. That's a great word to use to show that it's adding depth to something. It reinforces the coldness of the winter day. Now I can put winter day into speech marks because that's embedding the quote. I might then say, the colours, and then choose some of those colours. White. What's another one there? We've got grey. And I could actually give a little bit more about the effects on the reader of that. I'm going to pause there, but you can see how it's opening out and how you're writing about it, and you can see the step that you might take from reading it first of all, making notes, going to writing about it.